Alright, I'm on hole number 8 of the Celtic Cup tournament. I'm in Wednesday's qualifying round of the Reiki division. Oh, excuse me, I'm on hole number 9. Sorry about that. So, hole number 9. Whew. Oh boy. Okay, I went back and watched my practice round, and I went back and watched my qualifying round in my practice account, and you know, this is going to be one of those holes, and just looking at what, you know, like looking at the top here, didn't get the eagle on 9, picked one up on 1, picked one up on 5. Those are key holes, 1 and 5. But the deal is that they had to use that to kind of recover, because they didn't get the eagle on hole number 9. There's 2 out of the top 3 that didn't get an eagle on hole number 9. There's 4 out of the top 3 that didn't get an eagle on hole number 9. So hole number 9 is causing some people some problems. And it's not necessarily the first shot. I'm going down into the little finger on the right and trying to lay up down there. It's the second shot, the distance that's on that second shot. Even if you're in the wrong spot, even if you do max overpower, the wind there is blowing side wind, so you're not getting any forward help. So if you don't have it, if you didn't have enough distance on the drive to get over on a max overpower, you're SOL. The wind's not going to help you. So this may be one of those holes that to bring out a bigger ball. So then the question is do we bring out a 4-power ball or do we bring a 5-power ball? Some holes, it's very easy to make that determination. And this hole right here, it could go either way. But the whole deal is that at this point, eagle is what's important on this hole. So if you have 5-power balls, I'm going to try this out with a 5-power ball and see how much difference it makes. What I'd really like to do is bring a 5-power ball and see if my sniper could get over there, but I think we're still, even with a bigger ball, we're probably still going to need a big dog. So I'm going to bring my accurate bag as far as quarterback, and then I'm going to bring a big dog. I shouldn't have to use any other club, but if I do, let me make sure I've got my usual suspects, my Kaiser Soze bag. And I'm okay with the claw, and there is a lot of holes in this tournament that a thorn or a claw is the club to have, because there's a lot of holes in this tournament that if you want to hit on the green side, you've got to have a claw or a thorn, and if you don't, you're going to have to bounce over some other area. And I'm going to bring a Liberty ball, which is a 5-power, no wind, 2 side spin ball, because the wind on the second shot is side wind, and so I can't, you know, I'm just going to have to adjust that out. But I could bring a lower one, but I have some 5 wind balls, but I've got some of those, so I'm going to use them. I'm going to try it out with a 5-power ball and just see how much difference a 5-power ball makes on this shot. So the first shot is a pure layup shot. I'm using my QB. I'm using backspin and side spin to try and get it over there to the hole. A 3 side spin 5-power ball would probably be better on the drive. As far as the 3 side spin will help out more on the drive, and the 5 will help out, the 5-power will help more on the second shot. It is a little hard to get it into the hole with 2 side spin. I've been hitting this hole with a Titan. I did catch this hole a few times in practice, and I never did get quite all the way up there. The question is there a max overpower shot that you can do that'll get you way up here, and then it takes all this question out of play? It's probably going to be one of those max overpower shots where normally we do max overpower, max side spin, max top spin, the whole bit, where we don't put everything on it. Maybe we don't use max. Maybe we do part of the side spin. It's definitely a shot that we'd have to practice a few times and be willing to burn some bigger balls, but I didn't get it enough in practice to go through that. Let's see how far my opponent can get up here. See what kind of view they got. There's a certain point out there where it seems like you're getting closer to the hole, and then there's a certain point out there where you're actually getting farther away from the hole. And so that's why I'm hitting down into this pocket right here. So there's my red line. And there's max backspin, and that's a little too eager. And I'm going to come back just a little bit further. Take the wind out. I'm going to do a full ring set That's 5 wind. I'm going to put some curl to bring it back over to the right. Getting it perfect. Let's see if that was enough to get it to stop, because if you roll off the edge up there at the top, you are SOL, because it goes, once you get to this little ridge right here, it goes right down. You ain't stopping it. That was everything. And that's about as close and as far as I would ever want to get on that. Now that's what I'm saying over on this side right here. Unless you can keep it tight up against the rough down here and try and get out into this area, you're actually farther away, because with a non-overpower shot I can get right there to that and try and top spin it in. With an overpower shot I can get over to the other side. And so unless you can get more distance out there, and once again, if you're hitting a max overpower shot with a 3 power ball and that's as far as you're getting, the only option is to switch to a higher power ball. And this is not a green that you want to have to hit out from a distance like this, because the green has so much slope on it. You have to account for the wind and you have to account for gravity. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. My whole goal was to try and get over. I came here last time with about 4 topspin and I was short, like way short. So I'm going to put on just a little bit more. I'm going to put on, what's that, 5.5? Let's see if that'll dribble me up there. It's 2 per ring, so there's 4, and we'll do 2.25. I'm not going to do any overpower or anything on it. I'm just going to see what kind of distance that gets me if that topspin's right. Hitting it perfect. My trajectory was a little off, but the topspin looked good. Maybe just a little less topspin, maybe 5. Just 5 straight up. I want to make that note. 5 straight up. And I'm going to use a 5 power Liberty ball. And I'm going to go through my ball collection, because if I can find one that's got 3 side spin and some wind, the winds, on neither occasion am I using the wind, so if I can knock down some of that wind, it'll just make the shot trajectory a little better. But I'm definitely thinking on going in with 5 top spin is the number. Now it's just making the putt. I still got some work to do. I hate making putts. I hate making these long putts. And to me, this is a long putt. Isn't it perfect? In the hole. Getting an eagle on hole number 9 is going to be huge. So if you don't have any bigger balls, I'm not saying that it's not possible to get an eagle on there, but it's going to be one of those chip in where you've got it. It's almost going to be like hole number 1 and hole number 5. It's just going to be one of those ones where sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. And the whole deal is on these par 5s, if there's any shot at all that we can get an eagle without having to do anything super spectacular and being Superman, this is why, you know, if you buy those packs that have 4 power and 5 power balls in them, you save those balls for times just like this. Because if you use those balls on holes that's like, I could get it done with a 3, but I'm going to go ahead and use my berserker. When you get to a hole like this, the only way you can get it done is with a berserker. So think of all the times you used one of those 5 power balls on a hole in one-on-one play for 20,000, 100,000 coins, and now you don't have it in a tournament. So it's really important. If you look at my ball collection, I've got balls in here from the 2017 Labor Day. And back then they didn't offer really good balls. They hadn't come out with the 4 power balls yet. So, you know, hanging on to these balls and using them, you know, right here, this is actually one of the very first, other than berserkers, one of the very first balls that they came out with. And it was basically, you know, they didn't at that time, they didn't have any of the, other than a berserker, they didn't have anything that was overpowered or overwinded or anything like that. And they're, you know, how often do you want a kingmaker with only 1 side spin? Most of the time you just use a kingmaker. That's why I still have 12 of them. But some of these balls are, and I hang on to these balls because a lot of times you can get it done with just the usual balls up here at the top. But when you need one of those other balls, you know, being able to dig through your collection and go, hey, I remember about 1.5 years ago I bought these firework balls, and these work great for this hole, you know, and being able to use those. All right, let's go see where exactly I ended up. Let me open up this chest real quick, get one started. Empty slot. All right, I'm tied for third. 2 people at the top with minus 13. And so these people both picked up, this gentleman here picked up 2, but dropped 9. So once again, if you can standardize hole number 9 and get an eagle on it, then that opens it up for you so that if you can pick up 1 or 5, which in my opinion are the best, all 3 of the par 4s, 1, 5, and 8 give you awesome opportunities to pick up a shot if you bring the right stuff. And you know, to be able to just shoot the average round here at minus 12 and then give yourself the opportunity on 1, 5, and 8 to pick something up is going to be huge. So I think whatever it takes to get an eagle on hole number 9, that's what you're going to have to do with your clubs. So whatever you have in your bag, you're going to need to bring it out. And if you don't have that stuff, that's going to be rough. All right, that was Wednesday's qualifying round in the rookie division with a minus 12, which is just the average score. I think is just the minimum score that you should be looking for is minus 12. And I think if you shoot a minus 12, minus 24, shoot a minus 12 in the opener or the qualifier and a minus 24 in the opener, you're going to go into the weekend round probably in the top 5 in tiebreakers. And that means that you're going to have 95 people in the bracket that if you shoot a 24 and they shoot a 24, you're going to beat 95% of the people that are in that bracket. So that'll really help you out. And if you can even go into the weekend round and just shoot a 24, you're probably looking at easily an easy top 10, probably depending on your bracket, maybe even a top 5. So just shooting the average score, once again, is going to get you way up in the bracket. And the higher you get, you know, look at 10th, you get 30 Titans. There's 45 holes in a tournament. That means you can play the next tournament. You can play 30 of those 45 holes with a Titan. Now, usually the par 3s you can get away with, depending on where you hit it at, you can get away with a slower ball. So you got 3 par 3s. That's 6 holes. That's 6 out of 45. That's 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 15 of the 45. So that's 30 balls, 30 Titans. That gets you through the whole round other than the par 3s. That's why it's so important to just, you know, when you first start, is to shoot that minimum score so that you can get up here and get those 30 Titans and then hoard them for the next tournament so that you can get back in the top 10, you know, and try and pick holes that, hey, I could use a katana on this hole or I could use a quasar on this hole to get it done, and try and hoard them so that you can build up a collection of Titans, because when you go into these tournaments, having those balls is huge, huge. And going from a top 15 and only getting 15 versus top 10 getting 30, that's huge too. So we want to shoot that minimum score so that we can try and get ourselves in the top 10 so that we can get better prizes and those balls. The balls are the all-important thing. All right, that was the qualifying round. I will see you at the opener. Hopefully everybody's having a great tournament. And keep watching, because I'm sure there's some of these holes, because we don't have Golf Clash Notebook and I really can't look at this stuff. These holes are going to be, I still have a couple holes that I still haven't figured out exactly how I want to play them. All right, thanks for watching.